But right now, I think it's a good time for us to finally have this chit-chat with Tamungang Emmanuel, who is a business leader with an inspirational journey. How did he join the prestigious Africa business community, or how did he become a very important director at the investment promotion agency? All those questions we want answered, and Kembe Gochi is on the beat.
Hello and welcome. Within the framework of commemorations marking what is now known as the Youth Month, I'm receiving on the program this morning a man with considerable abilities, a young person at that. He is the Director of Investment Promotion at the Investment Promotion Agency, Cameroon, Emmanuel Tamungang. Emmanuel Tamungang, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you for welcoming me, and thank you for giving me the honor to speak on very pressing issues, very important issues which could help our youths play effectively their role in nation building and economic development.
Of course. Now, before we get to talk about you as a person and what you do from day to day, in of course growing the economy of Cameroon and impacting, of course, the investment landscape in the Republic of Cameroon, let's talk a little bit about the mission of the Investment Promotion Agency.
The Investment Promotion Agency is the one-stop shop for investment in Cameroon.
Mm,
We have as key roles to promote Cameroon as a prime investment destination in Africa
mm,
and to attract investors in Cameroon, to invest in strategic areas which will help develop effectively our economic fabric. We also receive and orient these investors once they come to Cameroon and accompany them to facilitate their investment process through the grants of incentives, be it administrative, financial, tax or custom incentives. We offer aftercare services. That is, we offer a public service to investors to ensure they have the best Cameroon experience, such that whenever they have any difficulty, they can write to us and we can orient them or assist them to solve such issues. And at the end of the day, we, at the advice of the government, we propose to government measures that could be done to ameliorate Cameroon's investment environment based on our experience, based on our interactions, and based on what effectively we come to we come to observe while we realize our investment deployment in the country and outside.
Now, tell me, for people watching this morning, or potential investors, they may be asking themselves, why invest in Cameroon?
Cameroon is Africa in miniature. Cameroon, there's one great man in the country here who said that what attracts a woman could be her heart. You could convince a woman and steal her heart. But the heart of a woman depends on how much she is at ease with you.
Mm,
And for her to be at ease, she should be happy and feel relaxed with you. Cameroon happens to position itself at the armpit of Africa. At the armpit, when if somebody sends his hand to your armpit and tickles it, you will laugh
mm,
and you'll be relaxed and you enjoy. So Cameroon is that point of Africa which makes the continent relaxed, which makes the continent confident, and which makes the continent enjoy who it is.
mm.
Besides from this geopolitical positioning of Cameroon, which makes it a bridge between Central and West Africa, Cameroon is endowed with a lot of resources, be it natural mining resources, agricultural resources, of very skillful and young workforce, a very determined government will to ensure to promote and ensure its development. Cameroon has a lot of facilities which it offers to investors, which it offers to its local entrepreneurs. And I bet you we don't have countries in the world like Cameroon which are bilingual. We don't have countries in the world like Cameroon which has a diverse economy. We don't have countries in Cameroon like Cameroon in the world which presents a strong government will to make sure that things move on steadily and effectively, that everybody comes up to ensure a global response to a global concern.
Mm. Now, you are the director of investment promotion at the Investment Promotion Agency, Cameroon. What is your job description? What do you do on a daily basis?
To be frank and honest, Mr. Nkembe, I can consider myself to have that privileged and honorable position of being Cameroon's marketing officer, because my job is geared towards two major tasks. First of all, is to promote Cameroon, brand Cameroon
Mhm.
as an ideal investment destination, and in return to attract investors to Cameroon. And when we talk of investors, we talk of both the investors in Africa, Central Africa, Africa, and abroad. And we also talk about investors who are based in Cameroon,
Mhm.
because be it their category, they all have a role to play in Cameroon's development. And be it the challenges we have in our current society, it's important to always sensitize the world of Cameroon, its opportunities, and and what you can grab when you invest here. So my work is just doing marketing. I market Cameroon, I sell Cameroon with the facts and figures, with the potentials we have, with the stakes we have ahead, and in return encourage investors to come and choose Cameroon as the next investment destination.
Now, let's talk about the theme of the 59th edition of the Youth Day in the Republic of Cameroon: youth maturity and responsibility for the consolidation of peace, security, economic growth, and the democratic process. What is your reading of this theme?
I identify some keywords: maturity and responsibility, peace, economic growth, and the democratic process.
Mm.
We have an action, we have an observation, an action, and its consequences. I think those who conceive this theme are trying to call on youths to be conscious of what they're doing, of what they think, of what they see, to take constructive actions on what should be, what's supposed to be, and what is, and to expect the returns from their actions.
Mm.
If I have to decipher this thing, youth are called upon to understand the context in which they find themselves. We are not in heaven, we are on earth.
Mm.
We are in Cameroon, a developing country which has as vision to industrialize itself.
Mm.
The youth need to understand that nothing good comes easy. They need to have a grab of their emotional, their financial, their economic, their political, their social interactions, and the stake which the government presents to them vis-a-vis the indigenous factors and the exogenous factors. The way in which they receive these determines their maturity. Maturity is not about age, it's about the way they receive this information. And youth with a positive or a constructive mindset will receive this information within a sense of nation building, within a sense of community development, within a sense of self improvement, and within a sense of being a blessing to each other. And this leads them to the action of being responsible of the mindset which they decide to adopt, the constructive or the positive mindset which they decide to adopt. And this comes within the responsibility of the youth. The youth need to be emotionally, financially, politically, and socially mature enough to take responsible actions. And what are these responsible actions? Going to the voting pools and voting, investing in the country, being patriotic, and many other actions which I get towards building up the responsibility. So youths need to be mature enough. Youths need to understand the context in which they are. And from this context, they need to take positive actions that I get towards constructing and developing the country, their family, and themselves. And the consequences of their actions could have an impact on the country's peace, could have an impact on the country's economic growth, and could have an impact effectively on the democratic process which we are to experience this year 2025.
Now, let's talk about your domain while underlining economic growth, which is found on the theme of this year's 59th edition of Youth Day commemorations. Now, underline for me economic growth vis-a-vis investment opportunities in Cameroon.
Economic growth is an aspect which determines the well-being of the people, of the population. It determines their social enjoyment, it determines their purchasing power, it determines the relationship which they have with their vis-a-vis. Investment opportunities, on the other hand, presents the various opportunities, if I don't have to repeat the word, which businessmen or social entrepreneurs could grab to have a return on their investments. What we should know is that the welfare of the population depends on the opportunities which the country offers to its various stakeholders. And thus, it's very important for all the stakeholders to take advantage of opportunities, because once they take advantage of the opportunities and they ensure that these opportunities bring a return, a constructive and a positive return to their endeavors, in return the population will enjoy, and they'll have the welfare, they'll have the flow of capital, they'll have social welfare being achieved, and everybody will be happy. But who should grab the opportunities? Are we talking about foreigners from abroad? In my technical perspective, I'll talk about foreign direct investments. Or are we talking about the local champions or the entrepreneurs which we have in the country? I will say everybody should grab this opportunity. The foreign investors should grab this opportunity to have a foreign presence, so as to reinforce the cooperation which the country has with the host country, which is our country, Cameroon. And while they are doing that, they will encourage the inflow of capital in our country that will help us have liquidity. They will encourage a transfer of technology from their experience back to our country that will build the capacities and competencies of our local man labor. They would also bring in their corporate social responsibility that would assist us effectively build the social aspect of our communities, and we shall all be happy of what the foreign investments are bringing in. But then the local investments also have a very big role to play, because in return they are the image of the country. They have to build Cameroon to say, hey, we have a very powerful private sector, we have a very powerful social sector, and in return they have to take advantage of these foreign investments to grab the technology, to grab the savoir-faire, to have contacts with other countries, to build this economic cooperation, to build the capacities of the youth, and to make sure that everybody effectively shares in this cake which the opportunities are bringing. And once we all share in this cake, we have employments which have been created, we have infrastructures which are being developed, we have finances which come in our country and which is shared equally among Cameroonians. We have effectively happiness which occurs because of the jobs we create, because of the happiness of the motivation which our young which we receive at the job site, and it leads now to a social acceptance, a social happiness. It leads to a capital flow, which enables the country which enables Cameroonians to justify of their income through taxes and everything, and it leads to economic development through the well-being of Cameroonians. To say that investment opportunities happen to be a direct tool to promote economic development, and it does not only suffice. It's not called for the foreigners to grab these opportunities, because these opportunities first of all concern Cameroonians. We need to understand that Cameroon is a land of opportunities, and we need to grab it and you make it valuable for us to develop our country.
Now, if you're just joining us, I'm in conversation with Emmanuel Tamungang, Director of Investment Promotion at the Investment Promotion Agency, Cameroon. Now, Emmanuel Tamungang, at your age, you are a Director of Investment Promotion at the IPA Cameroon. And many young people watching this morning may be thinking that you're lucky, you're just fortunate to be where you are this day. Now, not knowing where you're coming from and how you had to work up the ladder, what is your recipe for success?
On a very subjective note, because I know I have colleagues quite younger than me who are directors, but on a very subjective note, my recipe for success is faith, hope, and love. We need to have faith, first of all, in God, who's a supreme being, in the dream we have for ourselves. And we need to have faith in ourselves, in what we want to accomplish in our lives, knowing that whatever we're accomplishing should be should be mature enough to take our responsibility. Without faith, we can't perceive who we are, and we can't start building ourselves to what we are. Secondly, we need to have hope in what we are doing. What we are doing also concerns our community, it concerns the country, it concerns the political, it concerns the business, it concerns our country's relationship with other countries. But it first of all concerns ourselves, because for you to have an ocean or a sea, you need a drop of water, and our hope alone is sufficient. If we have hope in that endeavor which through faith we are doing, is a first step, and this hope ensures sustainability, and this hope will drive us towards effectively having the results which we have. And finally, we need love, because whatever we take should not be for our personal selfish interest. It should be something which should be something which we love, first of all. It should be something which through love can affect the people whom we love, our family members, our friends, our colleagues. It should be also for the love we have for our country through patriotism. So conclusively, I think if we have faith, we have hope, and we have love, that equation will equal the success for whatever endeavor which we're striving for.
You sound well read, and obviously you're well traveled, since you are the Director of Investment Promotion, and you have to, of course, sell the image of the country in different countries in the world. What's your life like outside work?
Outside work, I am an ordinary Cameroonian. I am a father of five. I'm a father of five with a lovely wife. Social wise, I have various social interactions. I am the president of the Presbyterian English Choirs Association for East Mungo North Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. So it means I'm a music lover, and more precisely, I love gospel music. I like praising the God I serve. And besides that, I am also an agripreneur. I do into agriculture, and I'm trying to introduce myself into livestock and animal rearing, because you cannot succeed if you don't bring in a value added to the local resources which you have. Far from that, I am I am part of this of the scout family. I'm in the scouting family of Cameroon, and and in all of these social interactions, I want to say that there are all of these things which I do that keep giving me that drive to go and achieve and contribute towards the development of Cameroon.
Most definitely. You mentioned a good number of hobbies there. You talked about singing, which is one of them. You're a lover of gospel music, and you're the president of the Presbyterian English Choirs Association, East Mugo North, Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. Now, do you have a word maybe to rekindle the fading hopes of some young Cameroonians watching us this morning? We see many of them in the streets or on the streets of Yaoundé and other major cities in Cameroon. Every now and then, many have lost hope. Many don't believe in state institutions any longer. Many believe that some positions are reserved for the older folks. What is the message we are sending to them this morning?
I will want to reshare with them the message which the government wants to share with them through the theme of the Youth Day, calling on them to be mature and responsible and to act towards nation building. The need to accept who they are, the country they are, the stakes and the challenges which the country presents. They need to accept this, and decide to be constructive and positive, to play their role towards the building up of the country. And this leads to the responsibility that they will decide or which they will choose to take. Will they be constructive youths or destructive youths? I highly recommend them to be constructive youths, wherein through their understanding of the context of the stakes and challenges, they will take responsible actions that will help our country build and become the Cameroon we want, to become the Africa in miniature, to become the continent which we keep promoting. Because through an act of peace, through actions of peace, we can encourage peace in a world full of turmoil, be it through the polarity of power we observe in the globe, right down to the social political crisis we see in our own country, be it in the north, in the northwest and southwest, or in the eastern part of our country. An act of peace can bring in peace. An act of love can promote love. An investment can promote investments and create capital. They have to be responsible of the actions, of the positive or the constructive actions we should do. Because upon doing it, they will build our Cameroon and they will make our country be one and indivisible. They'll make our country be that powerful country which we look forward to in Africa and in the world.
Emmanuel Tamungang, Director of Investment Promotion at the Investment Promotion Agency, Cameroon. Thank you for yielding a portion of your time for us today on the program.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience and to share my advices to the youth of Cameroon. Happy Youth Day.
Thank you very much for watching, and of course, it is goodbye from my end. I hope you did enjoy this moment we shared with Emmanuel Tamungang. Back to you in the studio.
As you must have noticed, that was part of our profile package of the Youth Month. But then finally we got to have you see Mr. Emmanuel Tamungang Ako. I love what runs his life. He said faith, he said hope, and love. I'm sure our next guest would absolutely appreciate that.